Hello and welcome to Vancouver Carpenter. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a simple method to install baseboards using cyanoacrylate glues. So this is not the typical method I use, but I think it's a good method to help you overcome some sort of weird difficulties, like when the walls are out. So you can just kind of cut your pieces on 45, glue them together, and then slide them onto the wall. So without further ado, here it is. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to have a piece of scrap in hand so that I can actually directly measure stuff. And that way I can see what the variances are, you know, what it's actually doing, right? So if I just put it flush like this, I'm getting 9 and 5/16, and I'm getting 9 and 3/8. But that's not actually how it wants to sit. It's actually going to tilt a little bit this way, and it's going to be 9 and 5/16 on the top and the bottom. So that's my length there, 9 and 5/16. I'm going to write it down. And now I'm going to measure from this casing over here, same thing. Go right from there. You want to make sure your tape measure is sitting nice and straight. And now that one is going to be 64. I'm going to say 64 and a half plus. 64 and a half plus. Actually, I usually like to mark it close to the edge right here for when I'm running the saw. 64 and a half plus. So that is right there, right in the middle of that big fat line I drew. So this method that we're doing, I think I can cut it at 45 degrees exactly. Now, when I'm doing the old-fashioned wood glue, like nailing each piece on individually, I often cut my corners at 45 plus. Inside corners for trim with detail, I will cut at 44. And part of the reason for that is outside corners and inside corners in drywall are usually built out, so they're never going to be a true 90 degrees. Nine and 5/16. Now I'm going to do a test fit. Always a good idea. Don't just go gluing stuff without testing it, because it might be too long. Happens to the best of us and the worst of us. So in this case, yeah, they're both a little long. That's just a little bit long. So both of those need a tiny bit off of them. As you can see, that little bit that it was long is the perfect argument for why you need to test fit. Anyways, double check again. So now we are looking good. I can work with that. A little bead on the outside edge there. And then one more bead on this edge. Whoa, the phone call. Okay, line up your corners, make sure it's totally flush. This is actually the first time I've done a baseboard this way, guys. And clamp it with your hand clamps. Hopefully your hands are a little stronger than my dainty hands. But you gotta hold it for about 10 seconds. Oh, I got it mostly flush, but not 1,000,000,000%. Anyways, I think it's good now. Now we can work with it. Now we can just slide this into here, like so. So it's a little bit out of square. I'm gonna wait for it to set just a bit more before I push it. All right, I knew I could see this wall was doing something, but we could still work with this piece. As soon as this glue gets a little more time to set, so now I'm gonna push it. So you see, I'm pushing it, it's not breaking. So that actually makes, you know, a difficult install pretty easy. So I'm gonna push this against here, nail, nail. Now one thing to keep in mind, keep your hand as far away as the fastener is. So these fasteners are 1 3/4 inches. So what I need to remember is my hand should be more than 1 3/4 inches away from where this nail's coming out if I don't want it hitting a piece of metal and spiking out and going into my finger. So this would be a really dumb idea. Okay, so that's nailed there and there. I'm gonna nail it right here, right there. We go to this back corner. Now there's a bit of a hump in this floor, so I'm gonna push as hard as I can, and it pushed the floor down a little, which is great. This is a floating floor. I'm nailing along the bottom. Now, I think this is plaster. So I don't know how to find out where the studs are easily on this wall. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to thread it in a few locations. So what threading it is putting the nails in like so. So I'm angling it like this. See, there's a pretty good gap here. Angle it like this. Angle it like this. And that's going to hold it pretty well until the caulking sets. So there we go. There it was. So this is not the method that I typically use all the time, and I have some reasons why I wouldn't. One, I don't really like using the chemicals all the time. I think it has some environmental costs, and it's just not what I'm familiar with. So while I do think it's a very effective method, I am going to make a video showing how I like to install baseboards, which is just, you know, the traditional way. Cut them, install them, glue them. You know, it's not a heck of a lot different, just using a PVA glue. Anyways, thanks for watching Vancouver Carpenter. I hope you at least got something useful out of this video. So that's it. That's it. It's thanks for watching. Go and, you know, watch something else or build something else, or, you know, get on with your day. Now's the time. It's all waiting for you.